Yeah. Hi guys, Madam Muppet here. How are you doing? Bringing you my early doors review of Payday 2, having a look at the good, the bad and the ugly. And there is plenty to say about all three aspects. This first part, about the first 3 minutes or so, first 4 minutes, is going to be about the good. But if you're intending on getting this game, I do advise you listening to the latter parts as well. So here we're doing a jewellery heist, and what we want to do is do this stealthily. We don't want the police involved, right? Now, there's various different ways of sort of loading out your characters, etc. My character here has the ability to knock somebody down and they won't shout out. I've also got a silenced weapon, which are quite hard to come by actually. The silencers don't come thick and fast at all. So I'll get this guy down. He gets paged. I've got to answer the pager. All good so far. Right, so I've convinced the guy who answers the pager. And I'm just going to dump the body somewhere so it's not obvious to a passerby, because they might trigger off an alarm, you know, ring the police if they see something suspicious, that kind of thing. Now, something's happened with the rest of the guys here. Been triggered off a little bit earlier than I expected. So I make an arse of getting in through the window. Put an ECM jammer just in case the manager tries to phone the police or something. And you know, all this sort of thing is very atmospheric. And it's done very well. Those blue icons you can see, that's people who are suspicious. The red icons is people who will want to do something about it. You know, they're either going to phone the police or it might be a guard, etc. So we have to deal with those as well. We've got a couple of civilians at the end of the street here. Now there's an invisible barrier here, so I can't actually get to that guy at the end. So one of us kills him just to make sure he doesn't phone the police. Tie this guy up so he can't. So yeah, we had to kill him because he was out of reach. We couldn't get to him. Bit of a shame, but there you go. Now basically then, the rest of the team, intimidating everyone, tying everyone's hands. Nobody's managed to call the police. It's gone superb. And this is when the game works at its best, in my opinion. It's when things go right. It's when you manage to pull off a heist without firing a shot. To me, that's the kind of the thrill of it. Now, different people like different things, and there are certainly plenty of missions that are loud, plenty of missions that are just sort of, you know, get in there, make as much noise as you want. But I think there's a certain satisfaction to these sort of stealthy jobs if you can manage to pull them off. More so than there is in just going in guns blazing and getting everything. If we'd made noise and the police were called, that van would have taken off and then we'd have to wait a few more minutes, fight off a few police attacks, this sort of thing. But because the police weren't called, we've managed to do the robbery, get all the jewels and get them all in the van. Absolutely perfect. And it's the way to go for me, like I say. I think there's kind of a lot of satisfaction in that. I will do other videos where I'm going to be looking into the skill trees in a bit more detail. But there's four main types. You've got your enforcer, you've got a mastermind, you've got a technician, and you've got me, who's the ghost character who has increased stealth capabilities. But when it works well, like here, it's just awesome. You know, what you can't get across in a video like this is the actual tension involved of getting away with it, you know, of getting away with doing this robbery without calling the police in. When you've done 10 robberies in a row that the police have been, and you manage to get one like this and it works out perfectly, it really is just kind of like so much better. So the good is, you know, if you've got a bunch of mates who will communicate on the microphones and you can strategize, you can make plans, it works fantastically, and it is a really good feeling when the plans come together. Right, let's get on to the bad. What I'm not going to be showing on here because it would make for absolutely tedious viewing is that I've spent about 3 hours so far today trying to get in the game, and I haven't. And whether there is one person, 2 people, or 3 people in a game, it doesn't make any difference. It'll just come up with an error message saying the game is full. And there was one of my friends who kept having a similar experience the other day. Now, I know the game's just come out and there may be server problems and everything, but when a game comes out and I spend my money on it, I want it to work. You know, I am impatient like that. You know, if a new car comes out and people buy a new car and it doesn't work, they don't say, oh, well, come on, guys, it's a new car. You know, give them a couple of weeks or a month to fix it. When you buy something, you want it to work. And there certainly seems to be a lot of server problems with this at the moment. Now, we've got one guy in this game who none of us know. And his actions have gone loud and attracted attention. And we've got police attention a lot earlier than we would have liked. Look, you know, it happens, but the problem is he wasn't communicating. No microphone. Now, when I have been managing to get into games with people that I don't know, people on my friends list, here's the typical experience. Either people that aren't on their microphones, or people playing music, or people that are on microphones and saying nothing. It's not great what I found so far. Don't get me wrong, there's been a couple of people we've come across, we've added on the friends list because they've been pretty cool. But mostly, no. Mostly, if you don't have friends, you're better off either playing the offline mode or putting up with hours of trying to get into an online game and not being able to. And you know, that's not good. Now, here's the other problem with the offline mode. When you've got the artificial intelligence in, there are so many key abilities that the players can have, and the artificial intelligence don't use those at all. Now, depending on your character type, you could be dropping an ammo bag, you could be dropping a health kit. Everyone can keep the civilians suppressed. The AI don't do any of this. There's also a lot of missions where you'll be needing to take several bags from, like here, you know, if we break into the bank, we get the bags, we've then got to take them to a van. And the AI won't pick up the bags. So you've got to do it yourself, which makes each mission about 8 times harder. If you've got 8 bags, that means you have to do 8 runs by yourself. And the AI won't pick any bags up to help you out. And, you know, again, that's not good. So that's the bad. We've mentioned the good, the bad. Let's have a look at the ugly. The graphics, they're not bad. You know, they're not bad, but they're not done up to the standard of a, you know, AAA game. You will see AI doing really odd things as well. You know, like standing on top of a lamppost or something really bizarre. Sometimes, you know, if they get shot, the animations that they carry out are just like really weird. When you're carrying bags, your movement speed is slowed down, but the animations don't change to somebody, you know, just trying to jog along. It still shows somebody running, but the movement is slowed down, and it just looks weird. In fact, if you run and then jump, even the jumping is slowed down. So you still achieve the same height, you still achieve the same distance, but the whole thing is slowed down, kind of like you're going in slow motion even when you're in the jump movement. So there's things there that look really weird. Now, here's the thing. When things are going well, it's so atmospheric that you don't notice any of this. And it's only when things are going bad, either because you've got stupid random teammates who just don't seem to get what the game is about, or you're playing with an AI, that's when things really kind of just leap out at you. So what I'd say is, if you've got a group of mates who you're going to play this with, you're going to find a really atmospheric and enthralling game. Seriously, if you're on my friends list and you haven't got this game yet, get it. Because it is an awesome game to play with friends. We're playing it with AI. It's tedious. It's tedious. It doesn't even let you rank up that great because the missions take so much longer. As I was saying with the, you know, having to carry bags and this sort of thing, you have to do all the work yourself. So it's even hard to sort of level up with any enthusiasm. Playing with randoms, it's just really hard to get into games. Let's say it might be it's a new game, server instability and all that sort of stuff. But again, it's making for a tedious experience, and it's a shame because it could be an awesome game. If they ever make a Payday 3 and they invest proper money into a proper graphics engine and they fix the server problems, this would be up there with, you know, your Battlefields and, you know, all your top rated games, because this is an awesome game. Anyway, before too long, we're going to have Grand Theft Auto 5 coming out, which also lets you do bank heists. I don't think they'll let you organise and plan them in the same way that this does. Some of the planning options on this are just brilliant. You know, they really are well thought out. Well, guys, I am going to be playing the hell out of this game because I am enjoying it. But with friends. Alright? I hope this review has been useful to you if you're pondering about whether or not to get this game. Take it easy, guys. This is my pit out. Bye.